Keeping your head, neck, back erect, settle down. Whoever in the movement, don't worry. Just keep your eyes open, but stay put within yourself. Whomever can sit, settle down with your breath. And gently close your eyes, trying to calm down your breath. Pacify yourself down completely. Get a hold on to your own real self. Like a bird perches on the branch of a tree. You perch on this utmost silence. The breath is still going on. And suddenly you start breathing deeper. Continuously staying with this breath deep. And this utmost silence, the inner steadiness. Just listen to the mantra. Om Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Shishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Simple palming. In the previous weeks, although we had some gaps because of the New Year and Christmas, in the previous class, we got to know what is the curious question of Arjuna to the Lord. His curious question was, who is a realized soul? How do I know he's a realized soul? How does he speak? What language does he speak? Does he speak in Sanskrit? What language does he speak? How does he sit? How does he walk? How does he interact with the people? Because of the primary befooling understanding that we've got, that if a person is realized, he will always be in the naked skin or with some deer skin or tiger skin underneath him, meditating in a cave or in the top of the Himalayas. So who is he? If at all, Arjuna's primary question is this: if at all, Krishna, you're talking about working with realization, working with jnana, working with this knowledge, how is it possible? Because in my idea, A realized soul is the one who doesn't work, who stays alive, somehow manages to be alive in that coldest region or in the darkest region with all his so-called miraculous energy. And you are talking about living, working with the universe, living in this world, and then having this wisdom. How is this even possible? So that is his question, and hence he was curious. Now Krishna gives a term called, oh, it was not Krishna, even Arjuna is giving the term in his questions. He gives a term called Sthita Prajna, as more important to know, even if you fail to remember the word. I'd request you to at least delve deep into the meaning of this word. You know, Vinyas Yoga, from where we are all from, the organization that me and Gauravji managed to start up with years ago, has this tagline also, Sthita Prajnaha Tadochyate. No? So, why is this word important for us to know? Sthita means stable. Prajna means awareness. So stable awareness or Sthita Prajna is the person in whose heart the awareness is very stable. Now, this is what we are going to know. The characteristics of a person, of a realized soul, whose awareness is stable. And what is this kind of awareness that we are talking about? We are going to see. What is the kind of sthita that we are talking about? What is the kind of stability that we are going to, that has been discoursed upon? We'll see that. So the first characteristic of Sthita Prajna is in the shloka 2.55. We are going to read that. Shri Bhagavan Shri Bhagavan Prajahati yada kaman Prajahati yada kaman Sarvan Parthamanogatan Sarvan Parthamanogatan Atman Yevatmana Tushtaha Atman Yevatmana Tushtaha Sthita Prajnastadochyate Sthita Prajnastadochyate Sthita Prajnastadochyate. Then he or she is called as the realized soul, as a person whose awareness is stable, as a person who is a sage, who is a saint himself. When the clause comes, Prajahati yada sarvan kaman, sarvan manugatan kaman partha. Partha means Arjuna. So Krishna is addressing Arjuna as Partha, the other name of Arjuna, saying that one who is ready to cast away all his desires that are originated from his mind. Sarvan manogatan kaman. All the mind originated desires. What do we have to do? Prajahati, cast away, wither it away. While telling about withering away, I am recollecting of that state, what I read in botany years ago when I was small kid. No? The seeds wither away on their own. Only when there is shushka, there is dryness inside. So sometimes what happens, the desires also leave. You fail to have desire, you negate to expect things from people or from the universe because of this dryness inside. No? Is that what Krishna is talking about? No. Why? Why am I saying no? Because there is answer. Atman yeva atmana tushtaha. He does not cast away desires, all his mind originated desires, just because he is dry within. But when he had resolved all his problems and dealt with all these desires, the desires leave the system away from his system. Atmani eva atmana tushtaha. He delves deep within his self and is an enjoyer. He is contented. So, desires leave the system, one, when you are depressed, when you are dry from within, when all love, all happiness is being dried out. That is a psychotic condition. That is not what we are talking about here. What has to happen? The desires that are inside your head, inside your mind, has to be casted away, has to be removed, has to be uprooted with this support system called spiritualism. What this support system spiritualism does to you, this helps in bringing in contentment factor in the hearts. Now we're going to understand this a bit more. Please have some patience. Please have some patience and give some time to understand this. No? Don't comprehend with your logical mind or intellect. That will sometimes hamper the understanding. No? So please let me explain this. We will take the example of the three avastha, three states of existence that we encounter every day. One, the waking state. Two, the dream state. Three, the deep sleep state. Jagrata, Swapna, and Sushupti, we call it as. Shankaracharya used to say, a person who is close to samadhi, who is in samadhi, can be understood with the fact that he is close to Sushupta. He is close to deep sleep state. Now we'll understand what is happening in every state. What is happening in this waking state? You are listening to me. You meaning Nico. Me meaning Lalita. Huh? And what are we discussing? Bhagavad Gita. So there are objects, there are names, there are forms. And you have your own understanding that this Lalita, this Nico, is a person, holds the name, and this is me. This is what we call as deluded eye thinking. Deluded eye thinking. Who does this magic of delusion? This magic of delusion is done by our mind. Now, 4 facets of the mind, I've been repeating this in many of my classes. Man, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara. The 4th facet, the ego, will tell you that this body, this female, with a dark complexion, having the name Lalita, with all these assets, with all these achievements, with all these so and so adjectives, is me. So this happens to us in waking state. Okay, understood? Now slowly, can you move on? You understood? Yeah. The second state is dream state. What happens in the dream state? My God, there is no body. There is no body. Even though you see you see people very well in the dream whom you can't see yourself. You just have a feeling that I am running. That's it. Yeah? I'm being chased by a lion. You can see the lion, but you can't see yourself. But you just feel like, oh. So in the dream, the state of body is not there. But what is there? Ego, the fourth facet of the mind, or the mind. In totality, we call this as mind. Mind is definitely there. This operates. Again, deluded eye thinking. Now, what happens in the state of Sushupta, the third state? Complete deep sleep state. Before understanding what is the deep sleep state, I'll give you an example. When I was very young, I was hardly 8 or 9. That was the first time I had to see somebody dying and all those death rituals. And it was very strongly percolated deep inside my head as the chitta, as the memory. I saw my friend's father in a river accident. He was swimming across the river and he was hit by a rock and then he never came back. So it was my friend and the entire school visited his place. So I saw that woman crying, and I asked, how is your mother? And the poor guy was also crying. He said, she is not taking it well. She was crying all along the entire night and she was shrieking. She was screaming. It was very unfortunate. She was very young. And we were sitting in that scenario for a while. I mean, an hour or two. Hours later, that woman fell into sleep, fell asleep. Now, what's that state of sleep that she had got? She was crying. She was totally tired, exhausted, emotionally, physically. She was in deep sleep and nobody disturbed her. She just slept. She just slept, let her sleep. So we all went away. Now, this is the state of deep sleep. Can anyone sleep in trouble, in sorrow? When you're in 20s and your husband is lost, you have 3 kids, you don't have a job, you're not educated properly. With all these troubles, mental troubles, can anyone sleep? When that's natural phenomenon, you will sleep. The point here is, in deep sleep, there is no body. There is no mind. If at all there is mind, she won't have slept. There's no trouble. There's no problem. What only shines, what only blossoms is your real existential self. Why, if I am in deep sleep, why amn't I wise? Why aren't I the Sthita Prajna? Because I have lost the body deluding I notion of myself. I've lost my mind. I've lost the ego. But there is no awareness. You're not aware in deep sleep. Hence, deep sleep is close to samadhi, but not samadhi. In samadhi, what happens? Samadhi. Dhi means your intellect. The intellect is always stably put in sama. Sama here means equipoise. Sama also means self, Atman. So when your intellect is stably put, established in the self, you'll always be aware. Aware that there is no deluding I thought, there is no body, there is no world, there is no reality of this universe. And all the root cause of this mind, which is ignorance, is with full attentiveness, with full awareness, is killed. Now, what happens in the waking state? They're all full of desires. Why is this desire coming up? Because of the mind. Mind keeps saying that this is you. You have to become better. You have to shine better. Or perhaps your family, you have to have a good family. Or the family members have to be better. They have to shine better. They have to do better. All these desires are being commonly originating from the substratum called ignorance or unawareness, non-awareness. What is real awareness? Real awareness is not that when you're walking, you find like, okay, somebody is following me. No, that is not awareness. Real awareness is your self-awareness. That you're not this body. Whatever happening around is just seemingly true and everything is falsified. And what I am assuming myself as I is again untrue. I was taking this human anatomy and physiology class. I was handling MA Yoga Sciences students, where I had to take contraction of muscles, isometric contractions and eccentric, concentric contraction, where I was explaining this eccentric contraction concept of muscles. Sorry for making this more look like a human biology class, but still. You know about body, funnily, the body's muscles contract. When they contract, is this usual pattern of the length of the muscle getting contracted, right? What happens to the length of the muscle? It has to contract. But when you do Trikonasana, or when you do Ardhagati Chakrasana, any side bending posture, close your eyes, bend to the side and see what is happening to the entire spinal muscles. We call them as erector spinae. When you bend, what happens to the length of the muscle? It seemingly enlarges, no? when you bend, the entire erector spinae muscles seemingly increase. But it increases and also contracts. Is it not funny? It is the same funny principle about this reality of this universe. It is both. You will say it is real because you can see, you can smell, you can hear, you can taste. Your skin is always, feeling the cold. It is real, but it is unreal. When the awareness towards the world and towards the self is sharp, you have already dissolved all your problems. Why? Because the problem creator is the desire. As Buddha says, desire is the root cause of all the problems. Now we go a step further. Who creates desires? What is a desire? Desire is a thought, right? Thought about you yourself, thought about your kith and kin, thought about your future, thought about your past, whatever it is. All these thoughts originate because of the mind. Does mind have an existence at all? No. Mind has no existence unless until you propel that deluded I thinking from within. You have this deluded I thinking that this is. When you have that deluded I thinking that this is me, then natural process of desires multiply. Now, what happens to a realized soul? The deluded I thinking is vanquished. He knows himself for real. Hence, all his desires, which are originated from the mind, wither away. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, we come across three concepts. Very interesting three concepts. Aptakama, Atmakama, and Akama. Aptakama. Kama means desires. Aptakama means one who had accomplished all the desires. How can one accomplish all the desires? It definitely means one whose control of desires is being accomplished. One who has accomplished the control over the desires have accomplished all the desires. So again, it is noted to the direction. It is pointing to the direction that self get realized with the self or get realized with the root center of yourself, and all the desires shall be accomplished. That is Aptakama. One other thing, Atmakama. You make yourself as the beloved of yourself. You have a beloved in your life. Huh? When you have a beloved in your life or a loved one in your life, what happens? What happens? You take all the happiness by being with it, by being with him or her. Like holding a baby. It gives so much of happiness, so much of love, being loved, all the comfort. But for a realized soul, he had made his own self his beloved, the loved. So by being in himself, in his self, he is getting all the comfort. He's getting all the love. He's getting all the peace, all the happiness. Atmakama. He has accomplished all the desires. He had made himself the beloved one, the loved one. And akama. He is without any desire. No desire at all. So all three are pointing to the direction that when you're lodged in yourself, in your heart, in your center, no desire can trouble you, no problem can reach you. On the contrary, what is happening right now? We are lodged in our desires. We are lodged in our thoughts. And all the problems arise. All the, concurrences of your mind. Mind starts to calculate, analyze things. Prajahati yada sarvan kaman, sarvan manogatan kam. One who casts away, one who renounces away all the desires which are originated from the mind, and also getting contented in himself. Atmani eva, in his self. There is this eva shabdam. Eva means only. Only in his self he is delving. He relves in his self and he enjoys his self. Atmani eva atmanatushtaha. He is contented by his self. Now, what happens when you destroy the mind? When you negate the existence of the mind, thereby destroy all the desires? The outcome is contentment. What is remaining? Contentment is remaining. This is how Bhagavan Ramana has lived. This is how he had spoken with people. This is how he delivered his message. He was not only a person who discoursed. He never discoursed also. He just sat there meditating. He had written many scriptures in Tamil. He had written many scriptures. He had never read Sanskrit. He had never read Vedas, but all his scriptures are resonating Sanskrit scriptures and Vedas. Why? How? The wisdom. When you have close affinity towards self, there is wisdom. When you have close affinity to your own deluded thinking, mind, deluded intellect, there is problem. He is a Sthita Prajna. He can be a Sthita Prajna. He can work on his desires. How can I? You see, I'm a householder. I have to take care of my kids. I have to take care of my kids' education, kids' health. I have to take care of my consort's health. I have to take care of the food. I have to think about the food that I have to prepare in the evening. I have to plan. And you're talking about destroying mind and desires. How is this possible? This is every layman's question. How can Vedanta become practical Vedanta? How can you apply this? It is all good to hear. It gives relaxation to the mind. Yes, I have to get away from this mind. Oh my God, how nice this is, like Shavasana. It sounds good, but how do you apply? I think we should start the day, the moment when we open our eye. from the sleep. When you open your eye, first few minutes you will not be thinking anything. You think that it is sluggishness. No, it is just the switch that we are trying to do. What happens in Shushupta? I told you, in deep sleep. What happens? There's no body, there's no mind. You need some time to switch. Oh, I was here. Oh my God, I lost my husband. No? That switch needs time. So when you are in that switch, that is where even psychologists speak that when you have deep affirmations in this point of time, you make it into a reality. In Shavasana, when you make deep affirmations, you make it into reality, not just by, you know, continuously writing or saying things, you make them as affirmations. No, it will work only in the deep conscious, subconscious level. Okay. So in this switch, you have to recollect the fact that this world that I'm going to enter into is seemingly true. If it is seemingly true, why should I work? Why should I care for people? Why should I make dinner? Why should I make breakfast? If you're not going to do that, you're going to be much more evil person. You've learned that from the Karma Yoga sessions, yes, in the previous shlokas. So without work, without action, we can't live. But how about wise action? How about action filled with awareness? How about action, Karma Yoga, and wisdom, Jnana Yoga, going together as parallel tracks with the parallel tracks? Our life train can run well. No? So the moment when we open the eye, when you are in that switch, recollect, bring in that affirmation that I'm ready to move into this surreal world. So while acting, while doing the actions, I'm not going to react. Oh my God, the husband is giving tantrums. Oh my God, the kids are troubling me. Oh my God, is n number of work. Oh my God, I'm delayed. I am back. I am laid back in that schedule. I cannot come. I cannot cross over. All these things will happen. But how do you move through? You move through this awareness that this is not real. Why should I worry? He is not real. Why should I worry? His kid, this kid is not mine. Why should I worry? So without worry, you will be able to take care of your kid, which is a deluded thinking. You will be able to take care of your kid with that distanced action, no? Emotionally distanced action. Thereby, without worry, when there is no worry here or here, what do you emanate? You emanate positivity. You emanate wisdom. And the action coupled with positivity, action coupled with wisdom will bring you innumerable benefits. You want to take care of your husband well, you want to take care of your kid well, you want to take care of your career well, do this. Why? Why should I do this? Why should I have so much of effort in my head, so much of effort in my life, always having this awareness? Why should I do it? Okay. I will rewind your life for some moments. Forget your Nadia, forget your Aurelia, forget your Lucia, Nico. I'll rewind your lives. You definitely believe in previous lives. Innumerable lives we all got. In all those lives, we've been doing the same thing. We have been working in the same fashion, with all emotional sensitivity, with all those deluded eye thinking. What have we got? The next life, the next life, the next life. I'm not talking anything bad about a next life, but it is an opportunity. Why don't we realize this? It is an opportunity given again. Why don't we realize this? How about bringing about some changes in the work fashion that we're doing, in the work pattern that we're doing? Work, I mean the work we do with our mind, the thinking. Work, I mean the work that we do with our mouths, the speech. Work, I mean work that we do with our hands and legs, the action. So when we try to transform our mental action, thought, words, and actions, physical actions, in such a manner that this is not real. This is not real. When we do that, I'll tell you, the people around you will love you so much. Why? We had made this life hell because of our own involvement too much. The first person to be happy is the person around you. You know, that was just for a joke. But when we are more sensible, we are more emotionally distant. Don't you agree? Like that example that I give you all the time, that you can solve your friend's problem better than your own. That time we become a big, great counselor because we know, and that is not happening to us. When you know the problem is not happening to us, you know how to solve it. So why don't you do that to you yourself? This is not mine. This is not real. This is practical applying, Vedanta. It is not hard at all. The way we solve all the questions, all the math questions, all the physics questions, not less than rocket science we've been studying, no? Or handling people. No? I don't think so. This is hard. It's not hard. We have to attune ourselves. And it comes easy with great troubles. Yes, I said great troubles. When you have great troubles in life, you stop, you take a pause, you breathe. You will find who are mine, who are others. You start to analyze. Now, all the nicer things, all the wisest things are being done only when great troubles befall. Hence, Kunti, a character in Mahabharata, prostrates Lord Krishna, saying that, please, Krishna, give me some more troubles in life. Some more troubles in life. Why? When there is a trouble in my life, I find you by my side all the time. No? That's the greatest blessing. When there is no trouble, you're away. Oh my God. When you're away, I can't think. In other words, in other terms, when there is great trouble, the mind is steady, the intellect is steady. So, why wait for something bad happen? Why don't we open our eyes while we wake up with that jnana? Now, just as we started, we have to know what is prajna. Sthita, what is sthita? What is prajna? Sthita means stability. As I said, come what may in life, whether it is too much of excitement, too many pleasures around, you're hanging out with friends, you're having the greatest time of the life. We are being swept away by our emotions usually. Stability is that to not give away the fact of life that this is unreal. When there are times where you are totally upset, depressed, so much of bad things that happened, so much of bad occurrences have happened, so much things being at loss, you're alone. Don't give away this wisdom that this is unreal. As I've been mentioning, the greatest trouble will make you wise. So at both the time, good and bad, or neutral times, the ability to not give up the wisdom. The world is unreal. The world includes your mind. The world includes your intellect. The world includes your body. Huh? Everything. Remember that. It's not only the outside world. Anything outside self is non-self, is nonsense. So when you know that this is unreal, this I, so-called I is unreal, so-called world is unreal, nothing will bother you. Nothing can excite you. Oh my God, I'm going to be a dry person. No, Atmani eva Atmana tutta. The only outcome that you get is contentment. How come this be dry? So the first word, sthita, stability, hopefully has been well explained. Now we come to the second word, prajna, awareness. All the time I'm negating, that is very easy, the neti technique. Negating this to be true. Negating this to be true. I'm doing that. But let me have the direct approach. I'm going to give you the direct approach also, just as Bhagavan Ramana says. If you have a thought, go to the root of the thought. For example, I am sad. Okay. Go to the root of the I am sad. And let's try to intellectually analyze the statement, I am sad. Okay. It has to be experiential, but since it is a two-way communication, I'm giving you some directions. Okay. Now, sad. So if it is sad, who is sad? What made you sad? Why are you sad? Are these intricate questions which you will try to reply. For example, if I am trying to reply, what is sadness? The sadness is that feeling that I'm feeling so low. That is sadness. Why am I sad? Because he did that. He did that. I am sad. Didn't he do that multiple times? Were you sad then? No. When she did the same thing, were you sad? No. Why are you sad now? I don't know. Okay. Now you have eventually come to the point that the sadness is very temporal, is subject to change. If it is temporal and subject to change, how can sad be true? Hold there. There are 3 parts in the sentence, no? I am sad. Now let me ask the same questions to the first part of the statement. I. Who are you? I am Lalitha. I'm a mother. My son made me sad. He made me sad. No? Ask the questions again. Who are you? I am Lalitha. Were you Lalitha? Were you a female? You know it better that you were Lalitha all along. You were a female all along. In this birth, in the previous birth, will you remain Lalitha? Will you remain female? I don't know. So your point of understanding I being Lalitha is untrue. I hope I'm making things clear. I'm not confusing you. The second part of the statement, am. The amness. The being. Question it. Were you there? Was the existence aspect of yourself there, here, and will be there? The answer is yes. I have been there. I am here. I'll remain. What part of you is real? You tell me. The existential part of you and you alone is real. Everything else, the multifarious colors that the mind and ego shows you, like the full to drama, the full to circus, everything is unreal. Who had created it? Proudly me. I've created all this. Who is going to reform? Proudly me. If not now, then when? Hence now. So realize soul is not someone staying inside a cave or with a tiger skin, but this is our dhyaya, the lakshya, the objective. Every day, every moment, every struggle, this realization has to be achieved. You do the step 1, all the step 99 will be reverting back to you. You do the step 1. Because only in this path is guaranteed grace working. There was a drunkard who asked stupid questions to the Kanchi Paramacharya, Sri Chandrasekharendra Swamigal, my guru too, whom most of the Tamil community call as Mahaperiyava. A drunkard on his way, he was walking. All the saints have to walk by road. He was walking. And that saint was intimidated by this drunkard question. So he stopped and he respected the person. He stopped. Oh, you are. His question was this: you are deluding people. You are creating mass conversion or whatever, saying that people can be progressive if you are into the world of spiritualism. Look, I am happy having my fourth drink now. I'm happy. Even if there is no money, I beat my wife. I take the money and take the happiness, that kind of attitude. So he asked, how do you well know that if a person goes behind you, his way of expressing things, going behind him means going in the path of spiritualism, goes behind you, can reach emancipation or get ultimate happiness. I'm happy all the time. Then the saint funnily asked a question back. How do you know this road leads to Chengalpet? Chengalpet is a place. I know. How do you know? Have you been there? No, I've never been to Chengalpet, but this road leads to Chengalpet. How do you know? How do you know what silly question? There are many people who had told me, who had reached Chengalpet, had told me that this road leads to Chengalpet, and see the road sign having the name Chengalpet on it, it leads to Chengalpet. No? Similarly, there have been many marvelous spiritual masters who have trodden on this mastered path of detachment, vairagya, of wisdom and jnana, and they've reached the place. They've reached the spot. Hence, I know that my way can lead many people to emancipation, can lead many people to solve their problems. The drunkard then, the next moment, was on his feet, prostrating. So, it is a time-tested, trodden by masters kind of path. So, we don't have to disbelieve here. We don't have to believe here. It's not the case of believe or disbelieve. We just have to practically apply, manifest things, what have been told. I think I finished. Any questions?